Investiture of the Gods, Chapter 43.
And the text just throws us right into the middle of it. Pure chaos from the start. Jiang Ziya needs a win badly, so he launches this night raid. And the sources describe his forces coming down on the Shang camp like wind and fire.
Yeah, it's less about careful planning and more about causing absolute panic.
The psychological breakdown.
Exactly. It's sort of the zoo version of shock and awe. And they lead with their heaviest hitters, their divine powerhouses. You've got Nissa, who's just pure speed and energy, right? Blazing in on his windfire wheels, spear flashing. Then there's Huang Qianhua. He's riding this Jade Kirin, swinging these huge silver hammers, and he goes straight for Wenzhong himself, who's mounted on his own ink Kirin.
So it's a direct challenge at the top. But what's interesting is how the text describes the feeling of being attacked.
Yeah.
Not just who's fighting who.
Yes, the sensory experience. That's where the literary side of this gets really fascinating. If you look at the eulogy of the Zan, that describes the battle. It's less a report and more like a study in pure terror.
Information overload?
That's a good way to put it. Details like horse smells gold drum sound, startled and running rampant. The soldiers aren't really fighting strategically, they're just reacting. Noise, panic. It says it's hard to distinguish friend-foe.
So coordination just completely breaks down. It's replaced by, well, human error, panic.
Precisely. We get these little vignettes, like specific examples of officers just failing. There's a gong officer who literally can't open his eyes because there's so much smoke. And the drummer, he's so panicked, he's just like banging the drum randomly.
Oh.
This isn't organized warfare anymore. It's the total collapse of logistics, of morale, of human will under pressure.
Yeah, and you can see why the violence described feels so visceral. Things like shoulder and back torn, head severed, men running into each other, trampling their own comrades. It's horrifying. But it also shows that while the front line was just, bogged down in noise and chaos...
A real strategic move was happening somewhere else.
Exactly. While Wenzhong is trying to manage this mess up front.
You have Yang. He completely bypasses that whole noisy confrontation. He seems to understand that winning the shouting match means nothing if the army starves.
So he slips into the rear camp, targets the supplies, the provisions. But he doesn't just, set a normal fire. He uses something special. The 3 flavors true fire. Sanmei Zhenhuo.
And that detail is absolutely critical. This isn't just any fire. It's divine fire, primordial. It's not something regular soldiers can possibly put out. The description of it is spectacular. The supporting poem says, fierce flames rush to the sky, and talks about golden snakes coil thousands of strands in the air. Jiang isn't just burning food. He's sending Wenzhong a message, a very clear message. This war is now being fought on a level you cannot possibly match.
And Wenzhong gets it immediately, the moment he sees those supplies burning.
He knows. His campaign, at least this phase of it, is finished. From a purely military perspective, the only option is retreat.
But he can't even get away cleanly. Before he can fully escape the chaos, Jiang Ziya intercepts him and throws the deity-beating whip, the Da Shen Bian.
Ah, yes, that weapon. Hugely important in this whole epic. It's specifically designed, to injure and defeat high-level Taoists, immortals even.
Okay, wait, let's pause on that hit for a second. The text says something really specific. It says the force of the whip actually causes Wenzhong's own internal fire, his cultivated Taoist energy.
His own 3 flavors fire, yes.
To spray out 3 or 4 feet in front of him. It's such a strange, vivid detail.
It is. And it's deeply significant. It's not just a physical blow, it's symbolic. It's a spiritual wound. It confirms that the Da Shen Bian didn't just hurt him, it struck at the very root of his personal power, his cultivation.
So it's not just a military defeat.
No, it's the defeat of his Taoist foundation by a superior celestial weapon. He's been diminished physically and spiritually.
So he's wounded, demoralized, his army is shattered. The text mentions losses of over 20,000 soldiers.
A massive loss.
He has no choice but to flee towards Qishan. He's protected by a few loyal generals who get him out, including this really interesting figure, the meat-wing general, Xin Huan.
And Xin Huan's presence there, escorting the retreat, is the perfect setup, isn't it, for what happens next?
Right, because just as this defeated group is flying away,
the wheels of fate, you could say, start turning up in the heavens. High above, in Yuzu Cave on Zhongyan Mountain, the immortal Yunjiangzi decides, well, now's the time. Time for his disciple, Lei Zhenzi, to finally descend to the mortal world.
And the timing is deliberate. It's preordained, according to the text. His purpose isn't just general help for the Zhu side. It's specifically stated. Achieve merit, help defeat the Shang, and encounter this meat-winged person.
Xinhuan.
Yeah, encounter Xinhuan, who happens to be flying below at that exact moment, to test his powers against him.
And this connects directly to the bigger mythological story being told. The text even drops this huge piece of prophecy right here. 2 celestial apricots secure the world, ensuring the Zhou dynasty for 800 years.
Wow, okay, so Lei Zhenzi isn't just backup.
No, he's destiny arriving in person. He's part of that cosmic guarantee.
And destiny, in this case, looks absolutely terrifying. Lei Zhenzi's appearance. It's clearly meant to be a whoa moment for anyone reading or listening. He's the thunderquake made flesh.
He really is. Magnificent, but also monstrous. Face like blue indigo, hair like bright red vermilion, tusks growing out both above and below his mouth.
Not exactly subtle.
Not at all. But his real power, maybe his defining feature, is his speed, his mobility. He has the wind and thunder wings, the Fenglei Qi, and they let him cover 1,000 li in an instant.
1,000 li. How far is that roughly?
Well, a li is about 1/3 of a mile, so we're talking hundreds of miles covered in like a flash of lightning, instantly.
Okay, so he's basically a living storm carrying a golden staff. And, oh yeah, he also happens to be the kid who saved King Wen 7 years ago.
That's right. The baby found after a storm raised by Wenzhong. That history is crucial. It locks in his loyalty to the Zhu cause.
And he puts that speed to use immediately. Spots the retreating Shang army.
And zeroes in on Xinhuan, the perfect opponent, the meat-winged person his master told him to find.
The aerial fight that follows sounds incredible. The Zan describing it makes it sound less like combat and more like a weather phenomena.
It really does. 4 wings flipping in the air, wind and thunder loudly striking. It's elemental.
But it's also described as a clash of styles.
Right. Yes, underneath the spectacle, it's a martial arts duel. Lei Zhenzi uses his immortal taut stick technique. Xinhuan fights with his own born hero style, using a hammer and a drill, apparently.
Hammer and drill.
In midair.
In midair. Okay.
Well, he is the meat-winged general, but unsurprisingly, the divine training wins out. Lei Zhenzi's technique is superior. Xinhuan can't hold up against him. He's quickly overwhelmed and forced to flee towards Qishan himself.
Leaving Lei Zhenzi clear to head for the Zhu capital, Sheik. He arrives just as the generals are celebrating their victory from the fire raid. They're at Jiang Ziya's place.
Right, and he just walks in, announces himself to Jiang Ziya, calls him Master Uncle, and Jiang Ziya puts it all together immediately, confirms the story about saving King Wen at 5 passes all those years ago. It clicks.
Everything lines up perfectly. Destiny fulfilled.
Well, almost perfectly. There's this one wonderfully human, slightly awkward detail. It reminds us that King Wu, despite being the destined ruler, is still, a person dealing with practicalities. He sees Lei Zhenzi,
this terrifying, blue-faced, tusked thunder god who is now his ally, or maybe relative, in a way.
something like that.
Yeah.
And King Wu is clearly a bit taken aback by the fierce appearance, so much so that he gives Jiang Ziya a rather delicate instruction.
Which is?
He tells Jiang Ziya to host the welcoming banquet at his own place, the Prime Minister's residence, not at the royal palace.
Ah, and why not?
The reason given. Lest he frightens the Taiai. The Taiai are the royal elders, the queen mother, the women of the court.
Huh. So even though this is their divine champion, maybe keep him away from the sensitive members of the royal family just in case.
Exactly. King Ru knows he needs this power on his side, it's destiny. But politically, maybe socially,
Yep.
he needs to shield the more human elements of his court from the raw, unsettling reality of their new divine allies. It's a fantastic touch.
It really is. A great human moment amidst all this epic divine stuff. Meanwhile, far away from shaky and nervous kings, Wenzhong has regrouped what's left of his army. But his despair is total now. He knows the game has changed completely.
He's reached the limit of what he can do with mortal means. His own Taoist skills were nullified by that whip.
Right.
His army's routed by celestial fire and warriors. He has to conclude standard military strategy. It's useless now.
Yeah.
His only option is to seek outside help, non-political help, powerful help.
So he thinks back to his network. He apparently has a lot of Dao friends scattered around, 3 mountains, 5 peaks. And he decides on a specific destination, the legendary Jinao Island, Dunao Dao.
And again, look at how he travels. This emphasizes the shift. He's not marching. He mounts his Mo Kylan, his Ink Kirin, which, the text reminds us, can fly through the air, cover vast distances almost instantly.
Taking him from this bloody, chaotic battlefield
To a realm of pure, serene, spiritual isolation. It's a complete contrast.
And the source material really leans into that contrast. It ends this whole section with his beautiful, peaceful description of Janelle Island.
Oh, it's gorgeous. Set in the vast ocean, mighty sea. It talks about rainbow-colored rocks, quiet cliffs. It's defined by timelessness, by serenity. Immortal creatures live there, colored phoenixes, Kieran. The plants are immortal too. Yao grass and strange flowers do not fade. Green pine trees are always spring.
It sounds like paradise, a Taoist sanctuary. And Wenzhong has this moment, right? This final thought as he arrives.
Yeah, it's quite poignant. He wishes he could just stay there, engage in quiet contemplation, read the Taoist scriptures. Anything other than deal with the tiresome matters of state that have brought him there forced him to basically beg his Taoist friends for military aid.
So that fire raid was the tactical turning point.
But the result was this huge cosmological shift. When Zong lost his army, his own power was shown to be insufficient. So he's forced to try and recruit these incredibly powerful detached immortals who live completely outside the human world. The conflict has just irrevocably escalated. It's beyond human control now.
When Taishi's cornered, his back's against the wall.
And this is his Hail Mary. He's recruiting some seriously intimidating allies from the Jiao lineage.
What strikes me first is how planned it all seems.
Exactly. It's not just random friends showing up. This is a calculated move, a tactical deployment of magical artillery, basically.
So when Taishi?
He expects, a hive of activity, lots of Taoists doing their thing.
He gets there and nothing.
Silence. Everything's shut down, eerily quiet.
Wow. That must have been disconcerting.
Oh, absolutely. It really hammers home how desperate he is. He probably thinks, okay, this is it. Crust failed.
But then he bumps into someone.
He does. He finds Han Zixian, the immortal of the hemp grass. She's sort of his first point of contact.
And she gives him the crucial intel.
She does. She tells him, look, the gang isn't here. They've actually moved.
Moved where?
To Beilu Island, White Deer Island. And the reason is key. They're there specifically practicing these array diagrams.
The Gen 2, so they're like field testing the weapon.
Or maybe final calibrations, polishing these ultimate magical weapons right before they deploy them.
Okay, that makes sense. It's strategic.
And there's another detail. Han Zixian herself is busy. She can't join immediately because she's refining something in the 8 trigrams furnace.
So even she's involved in preparing these magical tools.
It underscores that GGO isn't just sending bodies. They're sending purpose-built, perfected magical items.
Okay, so Wan Taishi doesn't waste time. He heads straight for Beilu Island.
Rushes over there, and finally he meets them. 9 Taoists.
Including the main guys.
Yeah, Qin Tianjun, also called Qin Wanyu. He seems to be the leader.
Yeah.
And Dong Tianjun is there too.
And they confirm it. We've got the arrays ready.
Pretty much. Qin Tianjun tells him they've perfected the 10 arrays, and he boasts they have, quote, infinite transformations.
Infinite transformations. Sounds ominous. But wait, 9 Taoists? Weren't there supposed to be 10 arrays?
Good catch. There's one missing from this initial meeting. Jinguang Shengmu.
The Golden Light Holy Mother.
That's her. She's off on yet another island. Bayun Island, White Cloud Island.
Doing what?
She's practicing her specific array, the Golden Light Array, the Jingguang Zen. Specializing, you could say?
So each immortal might be tied to a specific array.
It seems that way, or at least some are specialists. She's honing her particular brand of magical destruction.
Okay, this deployment strategy you mentioned earlier, it's fascinating. The 9 don't wait for her.
Nope. Time is clearly of the essence. They decide to use Shudun.
That's the water escape technique, right? Like a water-bending teleportation.
Kind of. It lets them travel incredibly fast over or through water, essentially allowing them to zip straight to the front lines near Jiki.
Wow. So they're rushing the deployment of the magic.
It's like the supernatural version of overnight shipping for WMDs. They know the conventional war is failing, so they're moving fast.
And when Taishi's just left there.
Left waiting, yeah.
Yeah.
Leaning against a pine tree, the text says. Until Jinguang Shengmu shows up.
And her entrance. Tell us about that again. It sounded spectacular.
Oh, it is. Pure visual spectacle. She arrives riding this amazing mount, a 5-spotted leopard.
A banboju.
Exactly. And she's wearing this bright red 8 terams robe, a fishtail golden crown. I mean, talk about making an entrance, right? Pure high fantasy.
No sneaking around for these guys.
Definitely not. She joins Wen Taishi, and then they travel together, arriving almost instantly at the new camp they're setting up near Shiki.
So the whole sequence, it really drives home that this isn't just help.
No, it's focused, it's organized. Jiao isn't sending rookies, they're sending specialists.
With customized, perfected weapons designed presumably to counter Jiang, Ziya, and the Kunlun methods.
Precisely. And the moment they arrive,
Yeah.
everything changes.
The whole atmosphere shifts.
Violently shifts. This new camp gets set up, 70 miles from Shiki?
Yeah, and Jiang Ziya, up on the city walls, he knows immediately something is deeply wrong.
He goes up with his key disciples, Neza, Yang Jian, the usual suspects, to scout it out.
And the vibe isn't just bad. It's described physically, right?
Oh, yeah. The sources list these specific chilling omens. Somber clouds, cold mist, killing light, mournful wind.
It sounds like the place is radiating bad magic.
It absolutely is. It's the physical manifestation of this intense, malevolent power pouring into the area.
And then there's the visual confirmation, the 10 streams.
The 10 streams of black energy surging right up into the sky, covering the entire central camp.
That's the arrays, isn't it? That's the visual signature.
That's gotta be it. The immediate, terrifying proof that these 10 absolute arrays are active, charged, and ready.
You have to think about the psychological blow here. Z is the strategist, Heaven's chosen general.
And he's looking at something purely magical, totally outside conventional warfare. It just negates everything he normally does.
The text even says he was panicked.
It does. It says he and his disciples were silently worried and truly without a plan. That's Shishiwuse.
They realize this isn't an army you can just outmaneuver on a map.
Not at all. This is a different kind of threat entirely.
So the next day, the challenge inevitably comes when Taishi rides out first.
On his in-claw, yeah, holding his golden whip, making the formal challenge.
But the real show is the 10 immortals behind him.
Right. And they're not on horses, they're riding deer.
Gear, okay, that's different.
And their faces, they're described as being colored 5 distinct ways: blue, yellow, crimson, white, red.
It's like they're deliberately signaling this isn't a normal fight.
Exactly. The whole setup, the camp, the omens, the deer, the colored faces, it screams this is a contest of magic, not muscle.
So Ziya has to switch gears completely. He's not just a general now.
He has to be a sorcerer, a high priest, something capable of dealing with this level of mystical threat. The war just pivoted.
Which brings us neatly to the next part. The ideological clash. Setting the terms of battle.
Yeah, and before the actual challenge happens between Ziya and Yinwan, there's this internal discussion on the Jijiao side. It's really revealing.
What do they discuss?
Yuan Tianjin makes a key point to Wen Taishi. He argues they should fight using wisdom du zi.
Wisdom, as opposed to
Yu Yong Du Li, which is like brute force, just raw power.
Why the distinction? Why does that matter to them?
Because it's about maintaining the dignity, the reputation of their Taoist lineage. They want to win through superior skill and profound arts, not just by overwhelming force.
But the arrays aren't just weapons. They're also like proof of concept for their spiritual path.
Exactly. It's a statement. Our Tao is deeper. Our magic is more refined. It's a philosophical challenge as much as a military one.
Okay. And then Qin Qianjun steps up to talk to Ziya directly.
Right. Qinwen. He's the one who initiates the direct confrontation, framing it as Jijiao versus Kunlun.
And he starts with an accusation, doesn't he?
Naturally. He points the finger at Ziya. You insulted our Jijiao faith. You killed our guys, the 4 Mo brothers from Nine Dragon Island.
Making it personal. Payback time.
Pretty much. But Ziya, he has his counter-argument ready, the big one.
Heaven's mandate.
Always Heaven's
No, no.
mandate. He basically says, look, King Zhu is corrupt. He's lost the Tao. The Zhu dynasty is the true destiny master.
And cosmic justice says the righteous us have to defeat the unrighteous you guys, supporting Zhu.
It's the ultimate trump card in this narrative, the divine political argument. Ziya can't back down because he's fighting for the universe's proper order.
So Qinwen, seeing this impasse maybe, he shifts tactics.
Very cleverly, yes. He pivots. He says, okay, forget the arguments for a second. Let's use the 10 arrays to settle this whole thing.
And how does he frame that?
He frames it as being merciful. He says this will avoid wasting the flesh of all the innocent common folk and the brave soldiers on both sides.
Ah, so fight with magic arrays instead of a big bloody ground war. Sounds noble.
It sounds noble, right? But it forces Ziya, the supposed champion of righteousness, to agree to fight on their terms, using their terrifying magic.
He's kind of trapped. He has to accept.
He really does. The duel is set. The terms are agreed.
Okay, so Ziya needs to see what he's up against. He brings his A-team for a look.
It's Kunlun All-Stars, yeah. You've got Neza, obviously, on his Windfire wheels, spear ready.
Huang Tianhua on his Jade Kulim. A Zenzi, the fierce winged one.
And Yang Jian, always watchful, always perceptive Yang Jian.
You're there to size up the threat, basically.
Exactly. And Yang Jian, being the most cautious, maybe the most suspicious of the group,
He speaks up.
he issues a specific warning, a demand almost. He tells the 10 Immortals, don't use hidden troops or secret weapons
and bat.
to try and ambush or injure Ziya sneakily. He says that's not the conduct of a true hero.
Feida Zhangfu Su away. He's calling for a fair fight, even with magic arrays.
He is. He wants the rules clear, even in this strange contest.
And how does Qin Wan respond to that?
With pure arrogance, really. And maybe a bit of foreshadowing. He just laughs.
Laughs it off.
Yeah, he says something like, if we say you'll die in the morning, why would we wait until noon? We don't need tricks.
Wow. So dismissing the concern, but also basically saying, you're doomed anyway.
Pretty much sums it up. Complete confidence in their arrays.
Okay. Then we get the big reveal. The banners go up. We see the full list.
And this is where you really grasp the scale and the sheer variety of magical destruction they've brought.
It's not just one kind of attack.
Not at all. It's important to see the categories almost. What kinds of threats are these?
So break it down for us. What are the 10 arrays?
Okay, let's see. You've got 4 that seem really focused on like elemental chaos, environmental destruction.
Right. Those were Feng Hao Zhen,
The Windroar Array. Then Hanbing Zhen, Cold Ice Array.
Lai Yan Zhen, Blazing Flame Array.
Hong Shui Zhen, the Red Water Array. Imagine trying to fight inside a blizzard, a firestorm, or a flood, all magically generated.
Okay, that's 4. What else?
Then you get into the really nasty stuff, more specialized horror. There's the Hua Shui's.
Blood Transformation Array. Sounds unpleasant.
Deeply unpleasant, I'd imagine. And maybe the most terrifying, conceptually, the Lua Han Zhen.
Soul Falling Array.
Yeah. Aimed at capturing or maybe even destroying your actual soul. That's beyond physical harm.
Chilling.
Yep.
Okay, that's 6. What are the last 4?
These feel like the arrays of just absolute inescapable power or illusion. You have Tianzhu Zhen,
Heavenly Absolute Array.
Delai Zhen, the earthly fiery array.
And the specialist one? Jinguang Zhen.
Golden light array, yeah, the one the Holy Mother was practicing.
And finally.
Heng Sha Zhen, the red sand array. Another one that sounds like it creates some kind of deadly, inescapable environment.
So it's a whole portfolio of magical doom. Wind, ice, fire, water, blood, soul-stealing heavenly power, earthly fire, golden light, red sand.
A genuinely diverse and frankly terrifying collection of spiritual WMDs.
Okay, so they've seen the whole lineup. Qin Tianjun turns to Ziya.
And asks him, point blank, do you understand them? Basically, do you get what you're up against?
And Ziya has to keep up appearances, right? In public.
He has to. So he declares, yep, 10 arrays, all clear, I know them, putting on a brave face.
He even stalls for time.
Yeah, he says something like, they're not quite complete yet, probably just trying to buy himself a moment to think.
But inside, it's a different story.
Oh, completely. The moment he gets back to the city, back behind closed doors, the facade crumbles.
The text describes his grief.
Intense grief, yeah. Double-locked brows, nothing to unfold. He's totally stuck, completely distraught.
And that's when Yang Jian calls him out.
Well, not calls him out aggressively, but Yang Jian, ever the pragmatist, asks the crucial question. He saw the public bravado.
And he asks, Master, you said you could break them. Can you? For real?
Exactly. He needs to know the truth. Is the plan real, or was that just posturing?
And Ziya has to confess.
Yeah.
To his inner circle.
He admits the awful truth. He says, look, these arrays, they're deep GGR magic, passed down through their lineage.
He calls them rare illusions.
Xi Ji Huan Fa. Yeah. Their names are rarely even seen, he says, and the killer line, I have no idea how to counter them.
Wow. So the commander-in-chief, Heaven's chosen guy, is admitting defeat before the battle even starts?
Tactically, yes. His own knowledge, his years of Kunlun training. It's useless against this specific, exotic, powerful magic.
The 10 absolute arrays did exactly what they were meant to do.
Instantly. They've completely neutralized the Kunlun leadership's current capabilities. Ziya is overwhelmed.
So the whole conflict just shifted on its axis. It's not about armies or politics anywhere, not really.
It's about esoteric knowledge versus, well, sheer desperation on Ziya's part. These arrays are alien, powerful, and they've paralyzed Ziya's side.
And the source text leaves us right there, doesn't it? With that tension.
It does. It ends with Qin Tianjun basically gloating, getting ready to explain the secrets of the arrays to Wen Taishi over celebratory drinks.
Which really sets up the next phase and leaves you, the listener, with a huge question.
A critical question, yeah. If Jiang Ziya himself admits these arrays are too much for him, too powerful for his current team,
Then who can deal with them?